meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks for coming, everybody. In the middle of March Madness.
I love it.
You love it. My Spartans, they didn't hold on to the very end. They played good, though. Yeah, they got a good team, but good coach, but they ran out of gas in the last 5 minutes. And happy spring, everybody. I just want to, over on the right, the gals that are painting the windows are making great headway. Yeah, it's a way cool project. Hopefully they'll be done in another couple of weekends or so. But you can look at them, but don't break one of them. I'll be killed. You're just kidding. And happy birthday to my sweetie Janice. Today's her birthday.
Good.
Yes. Roll call, please.
Mark Bouchard.
Here.
Maureen Bory.
Here.
Joanne Shirkey.
Here.
Artie Bryson.
Yes, here.
Christy Hilton.
Here.
Chris O'Regan.
I'm here.
Cindy Valentine here.
Okay, we're all here accounted for. First thing is bills payable. I will entertain a motion.
Board, I'll make a motion that we approve the bills payable in the amount of $121,011.74.
Support.
Okay, a motion and support. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Maureen Bory.
Yes.
Joanne Shirkey.
Yes.
Artie Bryson.
Yes.
Christy Hilton.
Yes.
Chris O'Regan.
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Mark Bouchard.
Yes. Okay, motion passes. Next, we have the Supervisors Report. First of all, I got some bad news, but I got good news too. Do the bad news first. Our revenue sharing that we receive every year from the state of Michigan is going to be reduced for this current fiscal year, $101,347. This is due to a decrease in our population from the census from, I don't know where we were, around over 9,000 to, they say we have 8,446 people now. This is going to hit our current budget, so it's called the clawback figure for this year. And I was kind of amazed, even with all the building going on with new homes and everything. We have a lot of residents that do not claim homesteaded here. They homestead other places, so we cannot count them for our revenue sharing. We have over 50% that's non-homesteaded here. Sherry, do you know off the top of your head, it's probably what, 55% or?
I think we thought it was close to that, 54.
Yeah, it's around 55% are non-homesteaded. So those people don't get count, and we don't get revenue sharing for them. But we're supposed to still provide them services. So this really affects our state revenue sharing and things like what we get for Parks and Rec for the next 10 years. So basically, we're going to have some hard choices to make for the rest of this fiscal year and in the budget going forward. And this hits our general fund. And I brought it to light during the process and even after. I didn't have a whole lot of faith of our census during the pandemic. And be quite honestly, the lady that was in charge of our census in this area, she was like lost. She called me a couple times asking for directions and how do you get to here or there, or how do I get out of this place? And I don't know. It is what it is. Good news. The U.S. Senate passed our funding for $1 million for our sewer interceptor project. So it's on the desk waiting for the president to sign, and I'll be working with Gary Peters' office to as far as the distribution process and how that works. I never received a federal money through this way before, so that will be new to me too. But it's $1 million, and if you remember right, that project was estimated about $3.5–4 million. So this will cover 33%. More good news: we closed on our pension liability bond sale March 15th. So we did sell all our bonds, and it was great timing because the Fed just raised interest rates late last week, and this is why we try to expedite that process as fast as we can because the interest rates were going up, and this is going to estimate saving the township $2.6 million over the next 17 years. So that's more good news. Been dealing with a lot of building and blight issues, waiting on a judgment on one case that was before our ZBA, and then the people to exercise their right to take us to court about auxiliary buildings. We have 9 more cases sitting at the attorney's office, 3 new ones. We settled one of them. It didn't have to go to court. And we actually got tore down a dangerous building this past week, too. Met with county representatives about the wastewater treatment plant, and they did assure us they're not going to walk out on us before we have a new authority or some type of management relationship to take that over. They gave us an August 1 deadline, and I think we should be able to meet that, but just in case we're down, they're not just going to walk away from it and leave us high and dry. Met with employees down there several times. They're all willing to stay on, and we have a really good team in place down there. Met with Ira and Algonac in the county to talk about our options going forward with the authority. And both Ira and Algonac are okay hiring an attorney to set up the plant, and in fact, I'm supposed to get written confirmation from them tomorrow on that. And
You meant Ira and Algonac, right?
Yeah.
It says Clay, okay.
I think I said Algonac, didn't I?
Yeah, you said Clay in here, I was
Right.
confused, okay.
And the county is working very good with us on a smooth transition for it. So I did arrange a tour last Friday, the 18th. We had about 7 people. I know Mark Maureen, a few people in the audience that were there. Started talks with Algonac about a water authority for the water plant. And they are verbally on board with it. And I think this will work out very well for both Algonac and us, Clay. It would enable us to consolidate management somewhat with the sewer plant and the water plant. Because the water plant also has to have some licensing personnel in place. And we have 2 people at the sewage plant that actually hold that license now. And so we'll be able to do some cross-training with both plants, and I think in the long run it would be beneficial for both, and probably cheaper in the long run to maintain these plants. So they're all on board so far and researching a new authority for that. Going out to bids with our work comp insurance. Our local road tour with the road commission is tomorrow at 10 o'clock. If any of the board members want to ride around in the car with me to look at a few different roads and ditches. It's tomorrow at 10. Let me know after the meeting. I will be, I'm starting a new budget process, and it's going to be a challenge like I mentioned before. We did put up the fire department, the old airboat that we replaced for sale with closed bids, and we accepted a closed bid. We got $18,000 for it, which we thought was pretty good. And we're working on the engineering design on the Hartson's Island Nature Park, working on the birding platform, where we actually might be moving in a couple places. And once that's done, we'll be able to apply for our permit with Eagle and start getting development grants. And that project, that everyone's saying that's going to score really high, so we should be in line to get some grants with it. And we're also working on the new beach park with the county. And George, actually, the fire department did a controlled burn last Thursday, I think it was. And it went well. Got rid of a lot of those old frags. So I'm still working on the MS4 stormwater permit, due April 1st. Talking to our state reps in support of Senate Bills 783, 784, and this has to do with veteran property tax, or disabled veterans tax exemptions on property tax, which I'm all for. They definitely served our country. But this bill would the state would have to make townships and cities whole on that, because, you know, they passed this rule and it comes out of our budget. And we actually have $3,782,000 that we're not receiving any of taxable value. We don't receive any taxes from this disability exemption. So we're getting geared up for fall and summer events upcoming year. We got a great music in the park lineup, and let's see, a couple things we have. Deb's Easy Easter Crafts, March 26th, Saturday, this coming Saturday, 9:30 a.m. She's making bunnies with kids. If you go on Facebook, Parks and Rec, the flyer's there. And then May 21st at 10:30 a.m. over here in the park, we are doing again our Bicycle Safety Day, where we teach kids how to ride the bikes and make sure they have helmets and that are fitted, and it's a good event. So, and then, I gotta mention too, the Channel Marker. It's a magazine put out by the Antique Boat Society. They actually did an article about Clay Days on it. So.
Hey.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it's a nice little article, and so I just got that today. So that is my supervisor's report. Okay, do we have any public comments? Any public comments? Hearing none, move along to the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda with communication regarding the cemetery cleanup publication, the cutting weeds publication, the board meeting minutes of March 7th, and check reports.
Support. Okay, a motion and support. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the consent agenda, signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carries. All right, under new business, first thing we have is a discussion of the, on our wastewater treatment plant and the Algonac water plant. As we all know, we're getting ready to meet with all the entities and form an authority. And I thought it'd be right that this board would give me the authorization to negotiate a deal and bring it before this board for approval down the road.
looking for a motion?
Well, okay, sure. Sounds better if someone else makes the motion. I don't want to appoint myself, but
I'll make the motion to have Supervisor Bryson negotiate for an authority for the wastewater treatment plant and the Algonac water plant.
Support.
okay, a motion and support. Any discussion?
Will you be keeping us informed on a day-to-day basis, if you will? please?
Well, I don't think it
And,
will be moving
well,
day to day.
As close as possible.
But yeah, after we have a
And,
meeting and stuff.
And if you'll be open to any suggestions that any member of the board may have,
Sure, I mean, I'd probably do it via email,
okay, fine.
so.
We can just
Can
discuss
try
those
and work
things.
in our, a little less of a percentage burden for us.
Well, it's gonna, for the water?
Right.
Or, yeah, it's all gonna be up for discussion, so.
And we talked about, you said fines and things if people are going over on their infiltration, so that'll help, right?
Oh,
All
on the
that would be in
wastewater,
it.
yep,
Right, in the wastewater treatment plant.
yep.
We don't want to have any violations or have any problems, so.
Not that we've had in the past, right? Well, you were there, we haven't had any violations,
Nope.
so I don't wanna be
Let's keep it that way.
suggesting that we.
Let's keep it that way.
I don't wanna be suggesting that we have.
I just saw a violation notice or something like that in November of 19, but I think it was just a notice. It wasn't a violation, right?
Right, it was
So-
because of faulty equipment reading, and we read it again, and it was fine,
Okay.
so. Any more discussion? We have motion and support.
We do.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next we have a discussion on our, putting our meetings on live broadcasts. And with our IT, I'll open up for discussion.
Well, I see Ray's here in the audience that wrote the letter. Because you said we had some concerns, right, with the security system? And the way he responded, I don't know if everybody saw the email, but it looks like it wouldn't be a problem if we handle it in the form he talked about. I brought the email if you want me to read any of it or have Ray speak. I don't know how you want to do it.
Well, I don't know, I mean, I know Chief, he has some concerns. I haven't been able to talk to our IT department, but you did, right, Chief? And,
Mike, would you come up here? If you don't
yeah,
mind.
we have some security concerns, plus we also have concerns if, well, it depends on how. I myself, I am not opposed to broadcasting it live, but I would want to do it on our website through, that way, but, I'd have to make sure it's secure. We have to, make arrangements with our website to do that and do it in a secure way. But what did you come across with our IT?
Well, with anything, and with the IT end of it, with us, we have to be state vetted, which means we have certain protocols that we have to abide by as far as security awareness. So any vendor that does come in has to have clearance through the state and has to be through state training with the proper certificates in order to touch our systems. Because what the difference here is we are linked together, these two departments, okay? Not all of our equipment is linked together, but there is still a link that goes between the two of us. So we have to abide by state, the way they govern this, especially when it comes into our lien network. Okay, so each and every person, even our workers, have to go through this training as well as be vetted first. Then any vendors that come into our department to work on anything have to be vetted through the state first in order to do so. So there's a certain criteria they have to meet. As long as that criteria is met, there's not an issue. But the only other thing that I look at right now too is, I don't know who we're looking at as far as doing the work or whatever that is, but right now, the emails that I keep getting and the phone calls that I keep having with Homeland Security, our cyber threat right now is higher than it's ever been. So that's a little concerning in itself with me right now. The critical infrastructures are some of the first that are being hit and being targeted right now, which I'm sure you all see on the news. But we are getting bulletins daily. I've never seen them like I'm getting them right now. And I mean, up to the point I'm seeing 2, 3 of them a day where they keep upgrading this. It's got me very concerned as far as where things are going to end up with this. And I think right now we got to be as vigilant as possible as far as our infrastructure and keeping it as closed as we possibly can right now. Now, that's not saying we can't do something like this, but I think before we do something like this, we've got to make sure that we talk to our current vendors and that handle that end of it, handle our firewalls, and that they're on board with this as well. And that is being done properly, that is going to coincide with what our network is and between the two buildings. So,
But isn't there a public, what I'm reading here is that there's a public and a private Wi-Fi in the building. The TriCaster would connect with the public one, would have nothing to do with any of our
well,
private
the question
or
I've got
township.
with that, which that's fine too, but the problem that you're going to have there is the public one you're talking about ties into our department, which broadcasts into the park. I don't think you're going to get that in here. If you notice, your cell phone hardly even works in here. So I don't know which one they're
maybe
talking
Ray-
about tying. Are they talking about tying into the township office's Wi-Fi or the park?
Well, Ray wrote this letter. Can we allow Ray to
Well,
speak?
in
or-
a second.
Okay, all right. Well, he's asking,
I'm
so
chair-
maybe they could talk.
Maureen, I
I'm
chair
sorry.
the meeting.
I'm sorry.
Okay?
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
So, I mean, I like you said, I mean, I think, we already put them out there anyways, but I mean, if you do it live, I mean, I don't see a difference there. But I think we need to make sure we dot our i's and cross our t's.
Right.
And
Wasn't
we've got
there
to
a-
make sure that anybody that does come in, anybody that's working on the system has to meet a certain criteria. This isn't like a private business or anything like that. We have guidelines we have to go by. I have to go through audits as far as these things go. And they come in and they do an audit and they look and they see something like this. And if it's somebody that wasn't properly vetted, we can lose our lien terminals. So,
And was there a question too on bandwidth? I don't think it would take that much bandwidth, but, all right, see.
as long as it's a compressed bandwidth, it shouldn't be an issue.
Because our 911 goes over our internet link too.
Right. And from what I'm being told, that probably wouldn't be an issue as long as it's a compressed bandwidth.
Right.
It should not be an issue. Obviously, if it was, it would, something we'd really have to look at. We can't compromise because it is the same system as our phone system as well as, how we are bringing both the fiber in and we also use a backup as far as a broadband on there. I don't think that's going to compromise that end of it. But the issue you're going to have is probably trying to get from this building outside. They're terrible because of the metal superstructure of this and the roof, and that's just is terrible.
And Chief, how would a standalone system, independent completely from our current system, affect any of our infrastructure as far as IT is concerned?
Independent on how?
Just separate, independent. Wi-Fi could be anywhere as long as we connect it with it in here.
I don't think that's not an issue. I mean, anybody could come in here if they've got service and they could sit there and broadcast live, sitting here with a cell phone.
Well, I'm not talking about our current Wi-Fi systems, our routers or whatever you want to call them. I'm talking about an independent, separate Wi-Fi system.
No, that's what I'm saying. If somebody came in here and they're using the regular 4G, 5G on their phone or something like that, that doesn't touch our system
So
whatsoever.
why can't we go down the road and pursue that instead of all this other tying into what we currently have?
Well, we do it with our IT department.
Right. I mean, if you're doing something separate like that, I mean, it doesn't come in, as long as it doesn't come into our infrastructure or our network.
So we avoid all the other issues.
Yeah, how you do it, I don't know. I mean, that's, all I can say is, all I can comment to is if it's our current network, the protocols that we have to go by and the audits that we know that we go through and what they look for and what they expect.
We asked for, with your permission, I'd like to have Ray come up and. see
Sure,
what he
come
has
on up,
for-
Ray.
Thank you.
You can stay up here too, there's probably questions that you asked him too. And just to let everybody know, my not expertise, what I do for a living is broadcast. I work at a radio station, do other live streaming. I do broadcasts out of police headquarters, government buildings. If you ever hear WJR on the road, and you hear them doing from the state capitol, you hear them doing from a police station, that's me. I have to be in touch with the people at their IT just to make sure that I'm going through a little a port that's in their firewall that has certain rules on it. And that's where I talk to with your IT, make sure that there's rules that it doesn't even touch anything. But what he was talking about, you can order a line for like $100 a month. You just have it right back there. Doesn't even touch this network. You order through Comcast or AT&T, and hooks up right to the TriCaster. The way there's a lot of people asking that they would like to see this live. Either your all your meetings online, and so they don't like there's what 8,000 people in here. And you got how many here? You know, it would reach a lot more people. Plus, the chief can also, it's just a special announcement. What he can do, actually, there's another platform. He can be at his desk, and he can go on, go through, and it's like, or even if he's at home, be in front of his laptop. Say there's a certain thing that's going on. Here's like, you can go live on the website, live on the Facebook, live on Twitter. All this stuff with also when I was here with you going over all the mics and the soundboard and the TriCaster that needs updating really bad. I'm surprised it's still going. Also, it's like there is a guest network. You got to find out from your IT network or your IT people. Usually, a guest network is set up on a different band. So it's like if that band or if that network is not even touching the infrastructure in here, because I deal with that at the radio station. We're an LP1 station that we do all the EAS reports. So I know all the protocols that he is talking about because I got to protect that at my radio station. So I get what he's saying, but there's ways around it. And us, when was the last time you guys talked with your IT department? When's the last time that your network was updated, your firewalls updated, your firmware, all that?
Well, actually, it's
Yeah.
constant.
Yeah.
That's constant as far as that goes.
Artie, just to be clear, we can't broadcast on social media
Yeah, I was going to get to that.
Why not? I'm just asking.
because it's a violation of the Open Meetings Act.
Yeah, we checked into it, and file retention too, right?
Yeah, it has to do with retention and FOIA-ability.
Retention of legally, we have to be able to retain all of our notes, minutes, all that stuff. Actually, we found an article by Miller Canfield and put out, and to do, there's no way that we legally can do that if they're on a platform where they can add stuff, delete stuff. I mean, they basically said we can broadcast on our own website, but like Twitter, Facebook,
And YouTube?
YouTube, where they can comment and delete and stuff, we can't.
Comment and delete.
Yeah, right, anything during the.
Yeah, but who is doing the deleting then?
Anybody.
Are you talking about a live broadcast
Yes.
or a recorded
It's a live
broadcast?
stream. It's
Because a
not really a
recorded
live
broadcast, we do that now.
Right.
We broadcast the recording. This right now will be on Facebook within 2 days from now.
Right, it just can't be a part of
A
our
date.
meeting.
Right, Cindy knows more. It's the clerk's job to retain all this, and it's impossible to capture that and retain it. There is a article on Miller Canfield, and I did want to clarify it. I mean, if the board wants me to get a legal opinion on that, I mean, I could, but it's spending more money. Well, like I say, we got this, today we found this article that Miller Canfield came up with on broadcasting on social media
So let's.
for a
can we
public
take a
entity.
So who was Miller Canfield?
It's attorney firm in Detroit. They're pretty well known. We've used them on a couple occasions. They're actually on our bond council.
So, I mean, regardless, I don't have an issue if you want to
Right.
view them or air them live, but we still need to know what it's going to cost us to update the window system, update memory if it's needed, what it's going to cost us if we need to run a line. I don't see that in this year's budget. I'm not opposed to getting those
There's no line.
quotes.
There's just a Wi-Fi antenna that I hook
Right.
up in the back, and it's like $30.
Yeah.
I'll-
just
you know,
said
I'll
$100.
pay it out of my own pocket.
I think the point, we have to upgrade the system. What's that gonna be, like 3 hours, 4 hours?
Yeah, it depends. It's like 8 years worth of updates that you guys
Right,
have on.
right.
Plus I gotta go through all, there's a couple of these mics. They have a couple of the leads that are broken.
Right.
I have to log onto the soundboard in the back because it's a USB board and just raise the gain or the levels or anything like that because sometimes you cannot hear Mark. You know, and it's just something to do with the mic. If you guys look underneath your desk, you see the wires going down. There's a ground.
Yeah.
There's 3 wires that need to be reset.
Okay.
I mean, that's something that should have been a long time ago. But it's like on the back, that takes about 3 hours. And plus going up here on all the cameras, those need to be, the dome needs to be taken off, and you know, you can see that lint all the time right here.
Well, every time I kick this down here, there's a bunch of static.
Yeah,
Moving out
that's
from
from
the-
years of people kicking the desk.
So you said 450 in your email
Yep.
would be the quote,
Yeah.
450 and
And
then
if you go anywhere else, you'd be,
$30.
if you go anywhere
I'm
else,
sure.
it'd be going.
a lot more.
Yeah.
I'm sure of that. Then we have to get a page set up on our web page to do the broadcasting.
All you gotta do is add a page and do an embed
Right.
code. You're not taking up any space on your
Right.
website. I do websites too. So
Yeah,
if you
well,
add-
we have a website company. We actually have a contract with them, so.
Right, but if they need to know anything from putting
Right.
the embed code, I can just send them embed code for them.
Like I
Are
say,
you, the chief has mentioned certification for the state of Michigan. Do you have all of that certification?
I'm certified at work with my IT. I'm certified for being an engineer over there. I'm the assistant chief engineer for WJR.
But have you been through
I've been through
my
training.
training,
What's that?
through the state of Michigan, my training, safety awareness and such?
Through my company I am with the Cumulus, we have to get certified. I mean, we have to go through the testing like every 3 months. Because with all the cyber attacks, to make our employees aware of right, first of all, what kind of email is this? We train all our salespeople because they are the people that are notorious for, hey, I'm just going to go on here and go through all these links. No, you got to recognize, why am I getting this email for this? How come there's a big long link? There's phishing attacks. There's attacks with people walking in the building and grabbing a flash drive and sticking it into a computer. People walking in the building, cyber, like phishing. Also, make sure that we teach them how to download certain attachments. If it says do not do it, and call us. And we do that for all of our stations in the state of Michigan.
So is this what you do through work, or do you have your own business doing this?
I do this through work, and plus I have a freelance business that
okay.
Liability insurance and,
don't have liability insurance. I do freelance artwork and websites and help people. But with my work, I am certainly certified and all that.
Right, but for us to pay you, you have to have a insurance, turn in an insurance liability form, especially if you're performing services here, unless we bill you through your company at work. You know, if you were doing this
Just
through
tell me what
WJR.
I need to do and I'll do it.
Okay.
I think you can get liability insurance just per job, basically, the way it's
Yeah.
set up, so. If
Yeah.
this is a job that you,
So my rough numbers is about $1,200. I'm doing estimating. Is that worth spending right now?
They can be up.
How do you come up to 1,200? I'm
With
confused.
his estimated time, and I'm estimating we gotta spend money on our website on that end, and we gotta have our IT person take a look at it too.
So that would be $750 worth, the website and the other, because he's $450.
Well, no,
So-
he's about 10 hours total.
Oh, no, I think he said
We
he'd do
can
it for
sit here and guess
$450.
all night, but I would
Right.
rather make a motion that we figure out what it's actually going to cost us and work it into our budget
Right,
for
but-
next year if possible.
Well,
Well, should we ask him what he's going to charge? so we
yeah,
know if
he
it's
said
7
3 hours on the mics, couple hours for the
well,
cameras.
let's do this, let's make a
Can
motion
we
like
ask
Cindy
him?
said, and ask him, and then the motion, provide a quote for what the services.
I
he's
give
gonna
you
provide.
I just gave you a quote for the email because that's as far as we got.
Right.
You know, and you told me that I met you here after hours going through
Right.
everything.
But, okay, but for,
Motion on
He's thinking about 1,050 for you, because of the 3 hours in the ceiling and the 450
I'm
adding
not
on.
going to ceiling on, I'm just going right to the.
well,
cameras.
and the
That's it.
mics, the update the system.
If you want to give me more money, fine. I
No.
was
No,
getting
he's
Okay.
saying
450.
450
Well, we
for
can
everything.
set a number out, like, I'm just saying as arbitrarily, $2,500, up to $2,500.
Right.
Well, he's saying 450 is all he's going to charge instead of 1,000, so I was trying to
Well, if
figure
he
out what
does-
Artie said, everything
Well,
else
I'm
costs.
thinking of our IT department and setting up a webpage too. There's more
Again,
cost than Ray.
We're just guessing, and we're coming up on budget, so if we could just get some actual clear quotes and budget
give
for
you-
next year, that would be my motion, to get clear quotes and budget, in the budget process for next year.
Which is July 1.
And you'll have it by the end of, at midnight. Because I already been here and already been through
Yep.
everything.
So, can we back up the
Yeah.
bus just for a second? I need to take a more macro approach. I need to look at the bigger picture here. So I'm all about keeping our system secure and performing our regular maintenance and certainly our updates. That is our responsibility. The other part about broadcasting our meetings live, I have two questions. One, who else is doing this?
A lot of people are.
What other township, what other municipalities, Ray?
Macomb Township, Shelby.
They're all live?
They're live. I actually watched one last month. Also over at Mount Clemens for Macomb County. They have their own department. I can call up the guy because he teaches the kids out there how to become a cable company and how to use a TriCaster, how to use different sets.
Gotcha.
I
So you
mean-
said Macomb, Shelby,
Yeah, Macomb, Shelby. I'm not too sure about St. Clair,
No, there's nobody in St. Clair. Does it live.
but and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But it's
Well,
like
I just wondered, because I don't know. And second, my follow-up question to this is there a demand? Is there a demand for this?
Well, since-
That's for you six.
Right.
It's not for the audience, it's for us six. Because I personally don't have any demands coming to me, saying, boy, you really need to get on board with this, you need to do this. However, if we have those demands, and if it's in some kind of a written format or a petition or something that I can get behind, I'm all in.
Well,
There's
because,
nothing, I have no issues, whether it's live, whether it's not live. My concern right now is obviously security.
well, it's not just a meeting.
Hang on, Rick. Hang on a minute. So, the other six members of the board, I'd like to hear from you on why we're entertaining a live broadcast. Is there a demand?
since we moved the meeting to 6 PM, there is a demand, a lot of people can't make it. I mean.
Okay, so let me stop you
so
right
at
there.
7
I
PM
don't want
they
to
could be here.
hearsay. Help quantify
Well,
that for
I
me.
can, if you want,
Help quantify that for me. Just loosely, just tell me.
I can give
What do you got? You got 3
at
people,
least
you got 10
50 to
people
75 people,
have physically reached out to you?
yes. I know it's not 9,000 or 8,000 or how many people we have, but.
I'm just trying to
it's
get an
a pretty
idea,
big-
Maureen, because
yeah.
I don't care,
Yeah, I don't know why
It
they
really
reached out to
doesn't
me,
bother
but
me.
they did reach out to me
because I got
saying,
0 so far.
they've reached out to me saying, you
I'll
know,
reach out to Chris.
Is anybody, am I alone in this? Is anybody at Mark? Has
Well-
anybody reached out and said, boy, you guys really need to get
Yeah,
on board with
they've
this?
had mentioned it to me. I can't tell you who the names were right away, but they,
Okay.
in the past, they've had reached out, well, how come they're not live or whatever? And
Okay.
I've always mentioned, well, I wish we were live because these cameras, as we see rebroadcast on Facebook or wherever it is,
Yeah.
are garbage.
Okay.
I mean, total garbage. I mean, you can hardly hear the sound.
So
Number one.
but I think, I see that as 2 separate issues. There's no doubt that we need somebody like Ray for some upgrades. There's no doubt in my mind about that. So I'm with you on that part. I'm just really trying to focus in on the live broadcast. And do you have any?
I don't.
Anybody reached out to you personally?
I do not.
Christie? Maureen, maybe you could help us quantify this.
well, I mean, a lot of it's come through Jim Newman and a lot of people that he's told, and he said, call Maureen, let her know, send her an email. So I can have them put it in writing, if that's what you want. I will have.
Great, give them my email.
Yeah, I
It's on
will-
the website.
Yeah, I'll have them get signatures
Just
from
give me an
whoever.
idea. Is this 3 people? Is this 10 people? Or is this really 80, 90 people?
Well, it's over 50, I'll tell you that.
I would just like to identify the need. That's all. What Ray's talking about and updating our security stuff, I'm 100% on board.
It just
And
seems
I don't
like,
have any problem with the live feed. I just want to make sure that if we're going to go through the trouble and the expense, that we're getting a benefit out of it, that the citizens are benefiting.
Let me ask you something, Chris.
Yeah.
If you were going out on the street and you would ask 1 out of 4 people, and you ask, would you like to see live broadcast here? How many think would say yes? All of them. All of them would say yes, they'd like to see a live broadcast. Everybody out there would like to see a live broadcast. All you have to do is ask them.
I think that's your opinion, but okay. You're
Well, I know
entitled
it's
to it. You're entitled to your opinion.
I'll go out and try it right now.
Mark, I'm not here to buck the system, and I'm not here to buck the idea.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to validate the idea. That's all. I'm trying to get perspective. That's all. Because I don't care. I really don't. It doesn't bother me one way or the other. I'm just trying to get an idea, because we've talked about this quite a bit in the last few weeks. So,
well, I think we're doing it anyway. We're back there recording the meeting to put it on. This would save Artie time. He wouldn't have to do it. It already would be out there, and it would be on the website, and it would be, you know, and it would be there. So it seems to
Yeah.
me it's a win-win for
all right.
everyone on the board
Ray, I
and the
cut you
people.
off. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
What do you got?
I'm used to it at work. I'm the engineer. But it's like, you have a valid point, but the thing is, there's a lot, like, no one knows what to ask, though, about getting information from, like, the township.
Yeah.
If they have it in front of them, they go, oh, great. I have older neighbors
Uh-huh.
right over here that would love to stay at home and watch it.
Okay.
You know, it's like,
But we do put it out on all the social media.
Yeah, but
platforms.
Yeah, but it's out there. It's available.
right. and
It's
the
just
thing
not
is,
live.
it would eliminate you guys taking it on a flash drive, put it in another computer, worrying about out-of-date TriCaster, plugging
Well, that's
it
going
into
to get
another.
upgraded.
yeah.
Right, no, but
I don't
just
wanna
let
mix
me
those
finish.
issues.
Let me
Okay.
finish. You take a flash drive, you put it into another computer. What if that computer is infected? It uploads stuff to your website, crashes your website. If you have that, archiving it right to YouTube or Facebook eliminates the middleman. You know, and then if it's like, and then I do my research of what you said about broadcasting township meetings. See it all the time at the state capitol does their stuff live. And that's where I got this idea from of us doing stuff at work, doing stuff live. It eliminates a lot of stuff. People are in the now. A lot of people, 2 days later, they forget about it. you guys need to pass certain budgets. You guys need to pass certain things. If you haven't informed a public, then you guys, it would make your guys a lot easier, get more people on board with all your agendas and subjects and having people fund the police and the fire department. It's not just for the board meetings, it's for the police department. Say, if he needed to go online, hey, this is what's going out. There's a certain predator out there. Then he can go online just like that.
No, I
Not
think they
here.
got the capability of that right now.
What's that?
So they got the capability of doing that right now through social media.
But, I mean, I'm just looking at what I see on the road when I do my job.
Gotcha. All right.
Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you looking into this. I do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
given a
I
lot
just
of
want
his
to bring
time.
my expertise, what I do for a job every day, because I'm on call 24/7 like he is, but I'm not in that car.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And thank you for the service.
Okay, thank you, Ray.
I'll stay up. I think I'm up for the next one anyways.
Okay, well. Does the board want to take any action, or are we?
Well, I made a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was your motion again?
I made a motion to obtain quotes for what it would overall cost would be and see if we could work it into the budget process. I mean, we just lost $109,000 that was already paid to us that we have to recover this year, in addition to that loss going forward. So,
And that year is up in 3 months. We got to figure it out.
right. So at the last 3 months of the year, do I want to try and slam in another $1,500, $2,500 that we don't know where it's coming from? One of the items on our agenda today is not a budgeted item. There's nothing I can do about it. It's something that needs to be done. And we're not done with this year, so I have no problem looking at it, seeing if we can do it for next year, but I think it needs to be done with actual quotes to know what it's going to cost us and put it in our budget. So that's my motion.
Is there a second?
Support.
Okay, I have motion and support. Basically, table this to after July 1st, and we'll try to get it in next year's budget.
Well,
We can talk about it
if we can
during the workshop.
expand on that, yeah, I mean, there's plenty of things that, I mean, tabling is maybe
The
the
broadcast.
immediacy of it, but certainly a lot of homework needs to be, and the wheels need to be spinning, right? I mean, we could be ready to go if everything that lines
Right.
up. We could be ready to go in July,
And I'd still like to.
which
get-
is only like 90 days away,
Right.
right?
I'd still like to get Ray's in here to update the system regardless and work on the mics. We can still do that.
Oh, can I say something?
Yeah.
Well, we know that's going to be $450. We know that. We have to talk to our IT. He's already offered to give us the embed code to give our people to put the page to on the website. So that's not going to cost much. Well, but they might charge, right? We don't know if they're going to charge. And that's all we've really got to do. So I don't see where it's $2,500. I'm thinking it's going to be
Well, I'd
$600
mentioned
or
$2,500
$700.
and do everything
Yeah.
that Artie was talking about, put in one bundle up to $2,500. But if
Yeah.
he's just gonna do it for $450 or $500, I
Yeah.
don't see any reason we can't move
Can I
forward.
throw something in there? And one thing that I said to Ray, those cameras were installed here when this addition was built. Those cameras are so far out of date. You're going to try to broadcast with these.
Yeah, they need to be updated.
They need to be upgraded. And it's not a big cost to change these are all analog cameras in here. They're so outdated. And it would make his life a lot easier too if they were upgraded. But I'm going to tell you, if you're going to do something like this, especially with today's resolution, everything we're dealing with today, people are not going to like that feed looking at these.
Right.
So there wouldn't be much to replace these, and they should be anyways.
I agree with that, too.
You know, God forbid, I mean, even if anything happened during one of these board meetings, you would want these upgraded to capture everything anyways.
Yep.
So,
All right, well, we have a motion on the floor right now to delay at least the broadcasting portion of it till next year's fiscal year.
Actually, the motion is to obtain quotes to see if we can work it in next year's budget.
Okay, to obtain quotes. All right, thank you on that. Any more discussion?
Now, just that the broadcasting is the cheapest thing, and I don't know why we can't move forward with that and get everything in line up to the actual budget approval.
Right, well, that's for the motion to get it in line.
Well, I just want to make that clear.
Yep.
Well, if we could say if it's less than $750, we could move forward with it or something, you know, or at least do it on July 1st, because I don't know what that's going to entail, but to
Well-
wait till July 1st, you know, seems like we got Ray willing to work.
Well, we can get
I'd
the
like to see him
quotes,
do it,
and we
yeah.
can work it in at workshop for budget.
Yes.
So we'll talk about it again. Are we gonna have a budget workshop in April and May?
Yes.
or- So we'll be talking about it in a couple of weeks.
And if Ray needs any help, I mean, I've got a company that we work with for all of our security, our cameras, everything like that. You know, if you need any help, or I don't know if you've already got a line on that, if you need help there, I can point you in the right direction as far as that goes in replacement of these.
Well, like I said, I want to start,
Be able to get quotes
start
right
with
there.
the sound system, the cameras,
Yeah.
you
Okay.
know, sooner than later. Right.
The nice thing is, I mean, well, I don't know if they've got any cat wire running these. I seriously doubt it. That would be something to be.
Yeah, they're
done, but
not.
That's not much.
No,
That's not much. That's minimal.
right, so. Okay, we have motion and support. Any more discussion? Want to do roll call?
Joanne Shirkey,
Yes.
Artie Bryson,
Yes.
Christy Hilton,
Yes.
Krista Regan,
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Mark Bouchard,
Yes.
Maureen Bory.
Yes?
Okay, motion passes. Thank you. Okay, Mike, we got our lease on our, an update on our police cars. I'll just let you explain
Okay.
it, 'cause
Well, so what we had happen with our vehicles that we ordered this last June, we got ourselves in before the deadline of ordering these vehicles. Well, it was roughly probably October that Ford went through, and remember we had these shutdowns? Well, due to the shutdowns, Ford did what they call balanced them out. Because they were shut down for X amount of weeks, means that they moved the deadline of when you were to have ordered these vehicles. Well, since they moved the deadline, it put us outside that window, so ultimately, we had to reorder vehicles here just before the first of the year. Had to reorder them. I got a phone call from Enterprise stating, listen, we've got 4 vehicles right now that somebody didn't take possession of in Indiana, but there's someone else that wants these vehicles. We need to move here and now. So I come up, I talked to Artie, Cindy, Christy, and said, listen, I've got to move on these things, otherwise we're going to lose them. And the state that we're in with our current vehicles, I couldn't take the chance. But I still have heard nothing about the other, because we still have 2 vehicles on order. Don't know when we're going to get them. These vehicles were a little more expensive, as you see there, roughly about $80 a month more on the lease. However, that is because they're hybrid vehicles. They're both gas and electric. All the reading that I did on them, they're saying they're going to save us quite a bit as far as the idle time, as far as the fuel consumption, that I think we're going to save quite a bit more than that $80 a month just going to these, as long as everything pans out like I'm reading. So I figured, let's take the gamble on them. Let's go with this. And, you know, they didn't come the way we normally order them and the way I order them and spec them out, but we've worked around that and made them accommodate, you know, our setups. So that's kind of where we're sitting right now. We're in the middle of this right now. Luckily, because I had 2 vehicles that went down, could have been costly. So we got extremely lucky. I think it was a blessing in disguise that they came across. And the same color, which really surprised me.
What the horsepower difference with the,
These are actually a little more horsepower and a little more pound-feet of torque as well. They are still the police interceptor package, except for the fact that they are the hybrid.
the all-wheel drive? Or the-
All-wheel drive. Everything as far as drivetrain and that goes, they're pretty much the same. Braking, everything like that, braking, exhaust, suspension, everything like that's all the same, except for you add the hybrid end of it into it. And then, like I say, the wiring itself, which is something that, you know, we had to work around.
Well, this is the first hydrant charge you had, so the
Yes.
electric portion of it, how's that going to be used?
Well, it's a little bit of getting used to, because the guys are kind of going down the back roads, they're doing 25 miles an hour or whatever, and all of a sudden, they just watch the tachometer drop, and they're just cruising around electric, which is kind of nice, too, because you're a lot stealthier at that point. But it's taken some getting used to, because then when they got to get back on it, they really jump. It's just really weird in the way these things actually perform, and it takes to getting used to. It's different than anything you've driven.
I see a lot of fun time in it.
So, and one thing I look at is, a lot that we do, we get a lot of idle time. We might have 150,000 miles that show on the odometer of these cars, and I'll bet you it's closer to 300,000 once you figure out the idle time. The cars are used 24/7 pretty much. What's nice with this is it shuts that car down. It doesn't start the car back up until the car sees that need for the battery dropping in it. Then it'll kick back on, vehicle will start back up. So if everything I'm reading holds true, I think we'll do pretty good with them. So it I did not look at going that way when we ordered these cars because, well, we weren't in this crunch at that time. And I just looked at the fact of, okay, have they perfected where they're at with this yet? And are we going to end up with issues? Those parts I don't know, still to be seen. Like I say, it could be a blessing in disguise, could work out great for us. It might push us to the point that, okay, well, this is what we're going to order from here on out. But only time will tell. The good thing is, with them being the lease vehicles, after having these things a year or two, we can turn these things right around. What's nice now is I'm going to have these other vehicles ready to go out to auction and get rid of them. We actually did pretty decent on our last vehicles that went to auction. We had the two 2014 Dodge Chargers. Mind you, they're 2014s. We got $30,000 for these two vehicles. Ultimate time to sell right now. We had 2016 Explorer that I wouldn't give you $500 for it. And what was that on that one, Cindy? It was over $6,000, $6,500. And I literally would not have given you $500 for this vehicle. So we're doing pretty well as far as that goes. And that was the other thing I looked at. These vehicles that we tore down now, we can hurry up, get them out to auction. We can capitalize on where the market's sitting right now. So I think we'll do pretty good on them.
Those vehicles, that's going back into the general fund?
Into the police fund.
Please. Yeah.
They, like Mike said, before we have any issues with batteries or anything else, they're going to probably be flipped. And
Well, I did some reading
and
on
it's
this.
under warranty. Everything's under
Right.
warranty.
Well, aren't we going to
I
get
did
more?
some
Aren't they
reading.
going to be worth more than the other vehicles you would have bought?
And yes, and that's
They're
the other
gonna
thing
be
I
more
looked
in
at on the
demand,
back
right?
end. That's what it seems to be. They did a study in New York where they still have this, a 2016 vehicle that they use for a cab. And to this date, they still have not had to do anything with the electrical component end of it, or the battery or anything. So, knock on wood, if things work out like that, then I think they could be on to something as far as this goes. I think right now they've done a lot better job as far as a combination with the hybrid, as far as the electric along with the gas. Full electric, I'm not so convinced on just yet. I think they still got a little ways to go as far as that goes. But, there's no doubt that this is what our future is going to be. But if things work out like they're saying, I think it'd be great. One other thing, equipment in the vehicles, I told you we need to upgrade our radar units in our vehicles, which came out to $6,856. Nice thing there is I submitted a grant to St. Clair County Prosecutor's Office. They granted that request, so they ended up paying for these units for us, which worked out nice. They said your department actually is way ahead of everybody else as far as that goes in the county. And the other nice thing I was just told by our prosecutor was that when they are out teaching the classes that they teach throughout the state on this process, they model it after our agency. So kind of nice kudos. Our guys are doing a great job as far as that goes.
Accept that.
So you actually have to plug those vehicles in?
Nope, everything's done by the motor itself. Everything's charged internally.
This is a $90 difference, Chief, for a month?
Yep.
For the 4 vehicles?
Per
Each
vehicle.
vehicle.
We'll
It
say
is that
that,
gas.
80, right? 80
Yeah.
times 4, 320?
yeah, we'll say
And what's
that.
nice is, I'm giving it a month here, and I'm gonna go through and see what the difference is. For the last few years, we've already been keeping a spreadsheet. I can tell you each month the consumption from each vehicle down to each different driver. So we know where we sit as far as fuel consumption. So it'll be interesting to see just where we're saving as far, talking to the guys, they're telling me that they've been putting a lot of times half the gas in that they normally would. So if that holds true, we'll be doing all right.
$4 or $5 a gallon, I don't see that being a problem.
Yeah, that's a hard hit.
So are you updating us today, Chief? Or are you looking for a motion to approve
Updating
it?
you, well, this is something that, like I say, I would have normally came to you ahead of time
Yeah.
with this
Let's
one, but,
approve the new lease.
yeah, because it changed the lease a little bit on these, but it was a do or die on these. We were either gonna get them, or someone else was gonna scoop them up quick.
I think it'd be prudent of us to approve the new lease agreement.
Yeah.
Well, Board, I'll make a motion that we approve the updated enterprise police vehicle lease, changing from a gas vehicle to a hybrid vehicle, in the amount of $894.81.
Support.
Okay, we have motion and support. Any more discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Artie Bryson,
Yes.
Christy Hilton,
Yes.
Chris O'Regan,
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Mark Bouchard,
Yes.
Maureen Bory,
Yes.
Joanne Shirkey.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have St. Clair County warning sirens, resolution to pass. And this was, actually came at a great time because we were going to install 6 sirens. I think it turned out 4 on the island, 2 more on the mainland, to cover virtually all the most, or if not all, the township with emergency sirens, but our county commissioner has bequeathed us a proposal to basically pay for 4 of the 6. And they just want a resolution confirming that we're on board. That's before you. I had an original budget of $148,000 to cover all the 6 sirens. What they're proposing, they're going to charge us we're responsible for 1/3 of the total cost, which is $49,600. And we'll still get our 6 sirens, so.
To be clear, there is annual maintenance on them.
Right.
The ones that we currently have, the DDA does cover because they're in the district, and they run approximately $350, I believe, Kristen?
Yeah, that's what it was going to be for.
Per siren.
Per siren.
So it's about $2,100
Yep.
annual maintenance on
Yep.
them, just so we're all aware that that
Right.
comes with these 6 sirens.
I think it would be good, we've been talking about this, I know I have, because I've been around for a long time, been talking about sirens. Never did it because of the money.
Yep.
So, if we can move forward on it, it would be a good thing.
It looks like we're saving the 100,000 that we lost in the beginning, so.
These were budgeted for from the fire department, weren't they, Artie?
Yeah,
Ready for a motion?
I am.
I'll make a motion to approve the letter of commitment for the St. Clair County warning sirens in the amount of $49,600 for 6 sirens plus annual maintenance.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Christy Hilton?
Yes.
Chris O'Regan?
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Mark Bouchard?
Yes.
Maureen Bory?
Yes.
Joanne Shirkey?
Yes.
Artie Bryson?
Yes. All right, motion passes. Next, we have voter registration cards. Go ahead, Cindy.
With the redistricting, although we didn't have any precinct boundary changes, we do have new districts for state rep, oddly being one. I believe all of the districts' numbers changed for Clay Township, so we are required to send out new voter registration cards. This was not budgeted for. KCI does all of our water billing, our tax billing, and provided a quote to do one-time voter registration cards for us. The postage is $1,100 of this amount, and the actual cards, the printing, the labels, and the labor for processing is $1290.05 for a total of $2458.05, which comes out to, they are charging us 16 cents a card. There's 8,000 of them.
That includes mail?
The postage is 14 cents a card. So the card itself and them labeling them, the ink for printing them, and them taking them to the post office is 16 cents a card.
And we're going to have to send out 8,000 of them?
Yes.
It's like a really good price. I don't think we
Yep.
need to get a second or third bid, right?
KCI has always been very
16
very
cents is
competitive.
pretty cheap.
We've used them and
We can't buy the paper probably for,
Right.
right.
you know.
Well,
And I have to say, they are one of the friendliest, most customer service oriented vendors that we work with. They're always, you know, we're always waiting on summer tax for the school millage to come in, and, you know, they give us a date and we always miss it because their meeting comes later in the month, and they always do their best to get our tax bills out on time, so.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe originally when we priced them, they were part of the My Deal, the state contract bid.
Yep. So someone want to make a motion?
So I'll make a motion for the voter registration cards in the amount of $2,458.05, $11.68 from the postage line, 101-262-730, $12.90.05 from line 101-262-900.
Support.
Motion and support. Any more discussion?
Yes. So the new district, has that been totally finalized with the lawsuits and everything that has gone on?
As far as the Bureau of Elections is concerned, yes. Could
I
it change
understand.
again? Yes, but we follow what the Bureau of Elections advises us to do, so.
So if the new district does not come to volition, then I guess you can still use the voter
Old
registration
ones.
cards for what remains in the body, so. Or maybe not, but,
Now, once they put us on their approval phase, then we are instructed to send them out.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next, we have our Jo Char paving special assessment resolution. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2021-41B for special assessment district, private road, Jo Char road paving.
Support.
Motion and support. This is for paving their private road. I think was pretty much 100% on board with this. Any discussion?
who's paying for that?
They are. That's
Special
the special
assessment.
assessment resolution.
Just wanted to make that clear.
Yep.
So is this to go out to bid it, and then it'll come back, and, or did we
They already
already
have
mail to everybody?
No.
No, they already have a price.
Okay. So we looked at this before then, and the people agreed to it? Okay,
Just setting the public hearing.
Right.
okay.
Yeah, we're setting the public hearing. If anyone wants to come in and comment.
That'll be Monday, May 2nd.
Yep. All right, any more discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Chris O'Regan.
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Mark Bouchard.
Yes.
Maureen Bory.
Yes,
Joanne Shirkey.
Yes.
Artie Bryson.
Yes.
Christy Hilton.
Yes.
Okay, motion passed. And this, I wanted to bring it up to the board. I don't know, it's not much money, I understand, but it's a principle thing. The state mandated to all the counties that they have assessor on standby if one of the entities in the county, if the state has to come in and take over the assessing capabilities of that entity. And they mandated the counties to do that. And so what our county did, and there's not too many others that did do it this way. What our county did, they went out and hired this assessor, and or to name this assessor to be that person. It had to be a designated assessor. And this assessor said, "Sure, I'll do it, but it's going to cost you X amount of dollars." So the county wants to pass all those costs to us, where we have our own assessing department, and we have our, 2 assessors in it. We just passed our AMAR certificate, or our audit. We're never going to need this service. And if you read in the quote, county designated assessor, per the terms of the contract, she's saying, that we need to pay it per the terms of the contract. The contract's with the county and the assessor, not with us. But this assessor's sending us a bill for the money. I've talked to other supervisors. They all don't agree with it. There's going to be 3 or 4 townships that probably won't pay it. And there's others that are shaking their head and will pay it just because the amount of money isn't really, it's $250. But I want to bring it to the board because I was really put it off quite a bit last year. Finally ended up paying it, and now it's up before us again, and I got a second request. I myself don't want to pay it. I don't think it's ethically it's right. We're paying for a service that we in Clay Township will never use. Now, there's a lot of entities like City of Algonac. The county does their assessing for them. In most of the communities, the county does their own assessing. But we're so large, we have to do our own. The county couldn't handle doing our assessing. So I don't feel like we should pay this myself, but before I go rogue, I'd rather have the whole board go rogue with me than just me, so.
Guess I would say I really wouldn't want to piss off the county over $250 right now. I don't agree with it. I absolutely agree with you. I think it's ridiculous.
I
but
do too.
do we know when this contract is up? Because that's a board meeting that we need to go to.
Is it a 3-year contract? I'm not sure. I've never seen it.
I feel like it was 5.
I
think it's 5.
I think it is a 5-year contract.
And this is our first bill on it?
No, it's a
Oh,
second request.
Second request, but I mean, is this the
This is
first
the
year?
second year.
Oh,
Second year.
So we paid it last year.
And a lot of other counties paid their designated assessor out of their own budget.
Yeah, most counties pay for it themselves, which St. Clair County said, yeah, you go collect from all the different entities. We never had any say on this. Actually, we did. They first asked us,
Yeah.
and all the cities basically said yes, because the county does their assessing. I think maybe only a few of the townships said yes. Most of them said no. There was more no votes to do this than yes votes.
I'd like to ask our assessor a question.
Sure.
When you do your assessing and your assessing valuations, do you pull any stats from Algonac?
Yeah, if we need to. I mean, we have a lot of sales of our own, but anything surrounding, sure.
And that's from St. Clair County Assessing Department, basically, right?
Yeah.
So we don't know if this person here is a part of that?
No,
They're not.
they're not. They're independent of St. Clair County assessing. To me, it's a money grab.
How many other things could they do this with? Could they start doing it with other things if?
Well,
I don't
it's the
know.
point, yeah.
Well, we have to worry about this authority that we're doing with the county right now with
It's not-
wastewater
well-
treatment plant. I mean, I know it's the county, but it's not.
But it's the road
different.
commission,
Yeah, it's
and we're
different.
not doing authority with them.
So who are we worried about, Cindy? I'm just curious.
I'm not worried about anybody. I'm just saying we have a lot going on with the county right now. We have the wastewater treatment plant, we have this 26-mile road expansion, we have the sewer interceptor that we're trying to work with them on, so
A beach project.
a beach project.
A
I mean,
nature park on the island.
Well, that's not with the county either, but.
You just want to keep a good rapport.
Well,
What?
I think there's bigger battles to be won than,
Well, the sewer interceptor, we're trying to get 750,000, right? So $250, is it worth it?
I don't agree with it, but should that contract come up, at least while I'm in office, I will be at that meeting at the county for the next designated assessor. You can bet on that.
Yeah, it's probably not going away.
No, it won't. So if someone wants to make a motion and direct me to pay it, we'll pay it.
I'll make a motion to pay the St. Clair County designated assessor fee of $250 from line 101-257-961 under protest.
I will support.
Okay, we have motion and support.
Cindy's always right on these things.
But we have
Support
a
her.
designated assessor.
Yes.
And an assessor. You know?
Yes.
It is ridiculous, but I think there's bigger battles to be won, so.
Right. I get you. I get you 100%.
Well, thanks for bringing it to us,
And
Artie.
I'm gonna be asking them for $1.5 million for our sewer interceptor too.
Right.
So,
That's what I was saying, so.
all right, we have, motion and support. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Me. Motion carries.
6-1.
Yeah, 6-1. 6-1.
Got it.
All right, our fireboat, emergence or repair on our Mercury, chief?
Good evening. I'm here to talk to the board here about repairing one of our motors on our fireboat, our starboard motor. Last fall, we were responding to a call up at the north end by the state park on the water, and our boat was responding, Fireboat 1, and the motor, the or starboard motor, quit on us. We couldn't get it to start, so we got back to shore. I had it pulled, and I took it down to Rosemarine to have it evaluated, and it found out that the number one cylinder had seized on it. I checked with other certified Mercury dealers in the area to see if they could do the repair, and the only one that does it in the area is Rosemarine. I did get 2 quotes. They're both from Rosemarine. They're 2 different power heads. One is a manufactured power head from Mercury Marine, so it's a brand new power head from Mercury. And the other one is a Red Rhino. That's from a company down in Louisiana that takes power heads and rebuilds them from old outboard motors. The motor that we have is a 2005 Optimax motor, and it's got quite a few hours on it. So I'm asking permission from the board to repair them. I didn't, like I said, I provided you with 2 quotes for those. The quotes.
Is that for one motor or 2 motors?
That's for one motor, yes.
And what is it? How many cylinders?
That's got 8 cylinders on it.
So Mercury Marine has a 1-year warranty. What about the rebuilt? Is there any warranty at all in that
There is a
one?
1-year warranty with that company too. With the Mercury power head, you're getting genuine Mercury parts. With the other one, we don't know what, if they're,
You have a
Reverb.
budget line on them either? You have a budget line on this?
this is an unexpected
Cost.
cost.
I talked to a few people that are knowledgeable with outboards, and they said if you're gonna sell the boat soon, put the Rhino in there for $9,600. But if you're gonna keep it, you wanna go with the regular mercury parts at the 13,000 price. I myself would love to replace this boat, but unfortunately, the only foreseeable way of us doing that is if we get a grant to do so, and so far, we've been unlucky with that. So there's no real plan to see this boat being replaced in the near future.
Is the boat also a 2005?
Yes.
We have another new fireboat that we just bought recently, right, or was that?
No, that one, we
It's a
replaced the
airboat.
motors on that boat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the airboat.
And then we did purchase an airboat, yes.
Right, got that confused. Well,
Now, didn't you say, well, we're entitled to a discount?
Right. In the quotes, and I apologize, there is an 8% discount on the power head, and then a 15% on the parts.
Because we're a municipality.
And that's from,
That's not reflected in here right now?
No, it's not.
No.
power head's 8,000, so that's about, what, $600? And I don't know what the parts are, so that'll take it from 13 down to, you think, like
About 12s.
12? Well, then it's only 2,500 more.
Let's go in rescue equipment.
Yes.
I'm all for
Not
genuine
equipment, I would say capital outlay.
Capital
compared
outlay.
to rebuild.
I'm sorry.
We're for genuine parts versus rebuild, especially from Louisiana, right? I
Yeah.
don't know them.
Say, yes, how many times can you rebuild a power head?
Right.
Because I'm sure they bore it out.
Yep. Like I say, I was told if you're gonna sell it, put the cheap one in there. If you're gonna keep it, use original parts.
What's your inclination, Chief?
As far as, I mean, we do have to go out in all types of weather.
Yeah,
Safety comes first.
Yep,
that's our bigger boat. That's the boat we take out in the lake.
yep.
It's the first boat in the water, and it's the last one that comes out around
You know,
December.
If the weather's crappy, we have to go out in the lake, we're in that boat. I don't wanna do a subpar power head on it.
If you need the quotes to be redone, I can, if you want to table it, I can bring them back to you the next board meeting.
I'll make a motion that we replace the power head with original Mercruiser parts.
Maybe not to exceed
Not to exceed whatever the,
$13,052?
yes, not to exceed $13,052.
I'll support it.
Joanne's supporting it.
Probably make it 12,500, because you know you got that other,
Well, they
Discount,
could
yeah.
have something else too.
yeah. Okay.
Any more discussion?
There's always a rubber bushing that you have to put in
Yep.
somewhere.
Yep. Any more discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Mark Bouchard?
Yes.
Maureen Bory?
Yes.
Joanne Shirkey?
Yes,
Artie Bryson?
Yes.
Christy Hilton?
Yes.
Chris O'Regan?
Yes.
Thanks, chief.
Thank you.
Motion passed. All right, next we have board member comments. Cindy?
I just want to remind everyone that on March 23rd, which is Wednesday at 1 o'clock, the state is doing a fire drill, so everyone will hear them sirens going off at 1 o'clock. That's all I got.
Okay. Mark?
Planning Commission, 7 o'clock, this Wednesday, May, yeah, what are we, March? Yeah, on the 23rd. And happy birthday to your squeeze,
Oh,
Janet.
yeah.
And fishing tournament, April 19th at the Algonac Lions Club, biggest, or perch. You can buy your tickets at Doc Brady's in Algonac, or can stop by the club. Or you can roll in the morning, 8 a.m., I think it's 6 a.m. is the captain's breakfast, and fishing for all today. So it's pretty good tournament. It's the second year for it.
Say the date again,
April 9th.
April 9th.
Are you going to be there at 6 a.m.?
I'm gonna be cooking breakfast.
Okay, good.
Right. May 4th, Clay Days, or and then, actually, May 4th is the Algonac Clay Historical Society Car Show on the waterfront. And May 21st is a open house at the Algonac Lions Club, and we're gonna have a golf cart scramble. So anybody has a golf cart, bring it up there, we'll have best of show. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And thanks to Chief for his input with the IT, as well as Ray. Thank you very much for that. Bill, glad to see you here, and the crowd in the back. Thank you.
Maureen?
I just want to say thanks to everybody at the wastewater treatment plant. That was quite a tour. The place is pretty spotless, and they're an impressive team. So they did doing a great job for us there. Thanks for inviting us, Artie, on that. It was good to see. And yeah, thanks for coming in, Ray. It probably was a challenge with work, so we appreciate you, working for us as a resident at a good rate, and hopefully we'll have something soon.
Joanne?
I really don't have anything to say tonight.
No, what team are you rooting for?
Michigan,
Yeah, okay. That's why you got your yellow on, huh?
I'll put on my
Yellow and blue.
basketball
Right.
shirt next meeting.
Uh-huh. Chris?
Yeah, real brief, scams, right?
Lots of them.
Scams are really, really up right now, and it's telephone marketing, it's email campaigns, it's texting campaigns, it's even door to door. The county's got, concerns about tree trimmers going door to door asking for funds. So, just if you're a person in the township who is in a position to help contribute some of their funds to another organization, just keep in mind that time is on your side. Take your time, do a little research, investigate who you're donating to, and if you can, pay with a credit card, because you've got fraudulent protection with your credit cards. So spring is here. Happy spring, everybody. But scams are way, way up. So just guard your money. Be careful. And if you're not sure, talk to somebody. Talk to the township. Talk to the police department. Talk to your neighbors. Talk to your family. Ask them before donating. Just say, hey, I'm thinking about contributing to X, Y, and Z. Do you think it's a good idea? Just run it by them, because time is on your side. So protect your money, people.
And if they're going door to door, we require a peddler's permit.
Yes.
And part of that permit is, we do a background check on them, and we have contact information on them and things. So we vet them with the police and everything else as part of it. So ask them where if they're knocking on the door, don't we give them an ID? We give them a regular Clay Township ID. So ask for that. Right, if the deal's too good to be true, yeah.
And one comment too, I think you mentioned Facebook as well and social media, but they're all over Facebook on there, And one, for instance, of the magicians, such as I am, is that they had $3,000 Gibson guitars on sale for $99. So
Ching.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to order a dozen of them.
That's all I have.
Okay, Chrissy?
Thank you.
I just want to report to the board that we successfully settled our 2021 property tax roll with the county last Thursday. We were at approximately 96% collection rate. So that's a huge sigh of relief for me. We're done with 2021, on to 2022. So just a reminder that the bills will go out at the end of June, and they'll be payable beginning July 1st.
You always got the best news.
Yeah, she always has the
I know,
best one.
everyone
Pay
loves
your
to hear it.
taxes. I'd like to thank everyone for coming to the meeting tonight. It was a good meeting. Wanted to thank everybody that went to the wastewater treatment plant tour, and hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to probably, towards the end of May or sometime in June, set one up for our water plant. It's not as challenging, but it's more interesting, actually, I think it's more interesting than the wastewater treatment plant. Thanks, Ray, for coming in. We'll be talking to you soon. And I want to remind everybody, you're supposed to change your batteries in your fire alarms, right? And CO2, yeah. When you change your clocks, you change your batteries. So wanted to mention that. And we got a lot of positive stuff going on in this town. And I am thankful that I and you guys live here. One more motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Support.
All right, thank you for coming.